Hello, my name is Piers Smith and I'm a solution architect at Unique. Welcome to this tutorial in which I'll introduce you to how you can connect a unique digital human to any conversational AI platform. This tutorial is part of a series we've created to help customers understand the technical components of building a digital human experience. In an earlier tutorial in this series, there's an overview of the typical architecture of a digital human, the key components and how they fit together. In this tutorial, I'm going to dive a little deeper into one component, which is the conversation interface. This is the part that connects your digital human to your conversational AI platform. And Unique offers two ways to do this. The first way, if you're using Amazon Lex or Google Dialogflow as your conversation platform, is that Unique offers built-in connectors for these platforms, which you can access and configure yourself using the Creator portal. The second way, which is the subject of this tutorial, is to create your own interface. Using this technique, you can connect your digital human to any conversational AI platform that exposes an API. Unique makes this easy by defining a specification for a request and response contract, which you can implement in your own application, to which you then connect your digital human. When a new conversation starts or your end user gives some input to your digital human by speaking or typing, the Unique platform will send a request to your interface and expect a response in return. And the specifications for these are in Unique's platform documentation. Once your application has received and parsed a request, you can then make the corresponding calls to any conversational platform that exposes an API. When you get the response from your conversation platform, your application can translate this into a response that meets the specification and return it. Now, abstracting this request and response interaction from the underlying conversation platform makes this architecture enormously flexible. With Unique's platform, you're not bound or restricted to specific conversation platforms that have been chosen for you. You're also not bound to how those conversation platforms have been integrated. As long as your application implements the contract correctly, it's completely up to you to decide which platform you want to use and how you want to integrate it. And if, like many of our customers, you've already made some investment in conversational AI and have a platform you're already using, this architecture lets you plug it straight into your digital human. To accelerate customers with this way of connecting, Unique publishes a number of open source code samples, including this application, which is a REST API written in Node.js that implements an interface following the Unique specification for you, and which comes with pre-written modules for Google Dialogflow, including both the ES and CX versions, Amazon Lex, IBM Watson Assistant, Microsoft Bot Framework, and Wolfram Alpha. You can either use these as they are, and they'll work straight out of the box with just a few environment variables, or you can customize them for your needs, or just use them as a reference for how to connect to and use your own platform. The application uses a modular pattern, so new service modules can be plugged in easily by just adding a route and then creating a module that implements the API for your chosen conversation platform. In future tutorials in this series, I'll show you how to configure this application to connect to some conversational AI platforms using these pre-built modules. And I'll also be adding tutorials to this series that step you through some options for how to deploy the application and connect it to your digital human. To get started, there are a couple of prerequisites. This sample application is written in Node.js, so you'll need to have that installed. I'll also be using Git to clone the repo, but if you don't use Git, you can just download the code. Unique's open source code samples are all published on GitLab, and this application is in the examples repo and then in the conversation path. So here in my IDE, I've just opened an empty folder that I've created for keeping my demos. So the first thing I need to do is clone the repo. So I'm going to just grab the clone address and go ahead and clone the code. Now that's done, I'm going to drop down into the project folder and the conversation path and use npm install to install the packages. Now this takes a few minutes to run through, so we'll jump ahead. Okay, so that's done. I have a clone of the application, so all the work to implement the interface has been done for me. The next step is to connect my conversational AI platform. If I'm using Lex, Watson, Dialogflow, DirectLine, or Wolfram Alpha, that work has been done for me as well. So without needing to touch any code, all I'll need to do is configure a handful of environment variables and I'll be ready to deploy. I'll be posting more tutorials in this series that show you how to do this, starting with examples showing how to do it for Amazon Lex and IBM Watson, so look out for those. You should also review the README in the repo, as this explains the functions of each environment variable and how they can be used to change the behavior of the application. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you have further questions, please contact us by visiting digitalhumans.com.